4 high schools, 7 middle schools, 1 college, and a university, and much more. Now introducing your most comprehensive weekly local sports show in Madison County, the Richmond Register Sports Show. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Here's your host for all things local sports, the Richmond Register sports editor, Nathan Hutchison.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. My name is Nathan Hutchinson. I'm the sports editor of the Richmond Register, and I'm very happy you tuned us in today. We have a very special edition of this show for you tonight. We're not going to do what we usually do with a recap of the week that was in Madison County sports, because we have lined up for you video interviews with all 8 of the varsity high school basketball coaches in Madison County. Me and Randy have spent probably the past week doing this and going through, and everyone has been so nice to make time to talk to us. And so high school basketball season opens Monday, and so we're going to give you all 8 of these previews. And of course, I'm going to give you the order in case you want to skip ahead. I know not everybody likes every team in the county, so we're going to give you the order we're going to play them in. And all these videos will also be available on our social media sites today and tomorrow, leading up to the season openers. So we're going to start off, we're just going to go in alphabetical order. You're going to get Berea boys coach Eric Fields, then Berea girls coach Damian Stepp, followed by Madison Central boys coach Alan Feldhaus, girls coach Scott True, Madison Southern boys coach Bill Bevins, and then followed by Josh Curtis, the girls coach at Madison Southern, and the 2 model coaches, John Morgerson for the boys and Scotty Sutton for the girls. So once again, thank you so much to all these coaches for coming by and doing all this. Everybody was so grateful and just available and helping us out. So we wanted to make sure before the season started you got a good grip of what's going on with everybody across the county. So we're going to start off with Eric Fields from Berea Community. By Berea Community boys basketball coach Eric Fields. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I feel like I need to have, Randy, can we get me a bigger stool here? Yeah, something. That's all right. You tower over me, but that's
tower over a lot of people. It happens a lot.
All right, well, we're here to preview the season for the Pirates. You open up Monday at home against Southwestern. Going to be a different looking team this year. I think really just one full-time starter back, really, Cannon Cummings. Is that really about it? Maybe some other guys?
We got Cam and Sean back, and
okay.
But they're young guys too. So I mean, like really kind of one, I guess, real experienced guy back. So that's that's a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, yeah, the youth hurts, and it's going to be tough with that. But also at the same time, we've got some guys that are really buying in this year and stuff. So and really a lot of impressionable guys. So it makes coaching a lot easier whenever it's like that.
Yeah, I think you just told me 7 of your top 8 are either freshmen or sophomores.
Right. Yeah, and it's tough whenever you've got that too. But that kind of goes back to they listen and they're impressionable, and you can teach them the way that they want you that you can teach them the way that you want to teach them, and they don't they're not trying to do something else that they've learned previously and stuff. And it's just a learning process as far as that goes. But I think that this year our guys have came a lot more and have been a lot more open to learning, and it's made coaching a lot more fun. Like I said, a lot more fun and a lot more, I guess, easier. So
yeah. And your second year with this group, so
right, and
getting to know you and your system and what to expect.
Right, and that's one thing. Last year, was totally different. Coming off of COVID, year 2 was totally different, and even this year, you still see a lot of different things. Coming out of COVID, especially with just like sickness and everything. Like the flu and still with COVID, and just if somebody has the sniffles or if they're they don't feel good one day, it's tough to tell a kid to come in, and so you miss some practice time here and there, but it's just one of those things. But that expectation to be there every day and to get better every day and to work every day is there this year, and it's something that the kids are like really buying into. So which back in turn makes it really nice and easy for me. So
yeah, and you're running into the same difficulties that Central and Southern do as far as football kids. And,
right.
It's a quick transition, especially when you make the playoffs, and you have several kids who were on the football team down there, which had a good year.
Right.
And so it's tough to get them you want to give them a little bit of rest, but then they need to
Right.
get in basketball shape and get going again.
Right, and it's tough on all levels. I don't think there's a good thing for football season. I don't think there's a bad thing for basketball season. I don't think there's a happy medium anywhere. I saw something the other day where kids in Kansas didn't even practice till like last week, and then kids in Oklahoma had been practicing for 2 months. It's crazy. It's all around the country. It's a different thing. But I'm just thankful to have our football guys in there, and they've really meshed well with our kids that have been in there. And of course we got a lot of soccer guys too. As far as that goes, but all those kids mesh well together, and they get along well together, and they all have the same goal. They all want to win, and they all want to get better. So that's one of the things that I'm very thankful for, is that we do have a lot of kids that want to get better, and that really just have that goal to get better, and that's, whether we go out and win every game or lose every game, they're still going to be there and working hard, I think. So
yeah, well, Cannon Cummins had a great senior year on the soccer field. He's come back, I think, leading rebounder last year for you guys. A scrappy kid, and he's got some offensive skill too. He's not just a big bruiser in there. He can put the ball in the basket.
Right, and last year, he kind of had to play that 5, and he's not really a 5. Yeah, he's 6'4". Yeah, he's a big kid, but he's not really a 5 as far as it goes. He's more like a 3 or 4, and I think this year we'll have the opportunity to play him there a little bit more, and kind of expect some different things out of him this year. And as far as like keeping up with his rebounding on the inside, and the thing about Cannon too is he's a really good leader. The kids look up to him. He's very positive with those kids, and he keeps them in line. Kind of going back to the younger part is he keeps those kids in line, and he keeps them in the direction that we need to get going. If we're having a bad day at practice, he's a positive influence on those kids, and and keeps those kids rolling and keeping those kids motivated. So
yeah, a couple of football players. You got Cody Roberts and Sean Kett. Cody Roberts, a senior. I know he's both those kids are still making the transition, so you haven't had them out a whole bunch in practice and stuff yet.
Right, and Sean's been out; he's been hurt a little bit, and Cody's been hurt a little bit, and Tommy and Dalton coming back from football too. They're big inside guys, and that helps a lot as far as that goes. But they've been at practice. They've been sick too. One of them called me today; they're sick, and one was sick last week. So it's really tough as far as that goes. But they're adjusting well, and they played all summer with us, and they kind of got to know everything we were doing in the summer, which makes it a little easier. So just kind of knocking the rust off a little bit. But they're coming back, and they're ready to work. So.
Yeah, and both guys who can score the ball.
Right, that's exactly right.
Yeah, just going down the list there. Let's talk about some other guys. Finley Blevins.
We've got a ton of young guys. That 8th grade team, they had a great season last year. You got Finley, probably be our starting point guard this year, which is really tough on a freshman to come in and do. But I think he's up to it. Then you've got some other younger guys like Liam and Jack that played in our varsity scrimmage the other day that really kind of held their own as far as everything went. Then we've got a plethora of young, big, talented young guys on the bench. So, there's a lot of guys out there that can help us. As far as some other guys, you got Joe Cobb that played on our JV last year that I think he'll come in and make a big impact. And I've mentioned Dalton a little bit as far as that goes. But we've got some kids that are that have really bought into the system and that really want to work and get better. So. That's one thing that I think this year is that we focus on the like we were talking about before the show, staying positive throughout the season. Whatever comes our way, we stay positive and we get better, and we're always working to do that. So
yeah, because like you said, you start off with some tough competition there, especially Southwestern right off the bat.
Right, we got Southwestern right off the bat. It's a big 5A school. They didn't have a great season last year either. They were kind of in the same boat as us as far as basketball went, but they're another team that's they're still playing right now. They've I guess what are they playing tonight? Friday night, yeah. Yep. So they play Bowling Green tonight. So
state semis.
State semis. So they may not even have their guys. So it's hard to imagine being in that situation where you don't have some of your kids ready to go for basketball season. But I guess people do it every year. And then we've got, I guess, Robertson County there in the next game, and we played really well up there last year against them. And of course, they lost everybody. They lost the Becker kid, and I think they graduated 5 seniors. So that'll be a good game for us to kind of see where we're at. To kind of see, I guess a more level competition than being an all-A school and stuff. So we start out the schedule. It's a pretty tough month of December, but we're at home a lot, and I think that's a good thing. Last year we didn't have a home game until I think January the 3rd. But part of that's on me, but part of it is coming in May, and everybody wants a home game, and it's just tough to get games rolling. At the beginning of the season, unless you get them scheduled early in March, which is what I was able to do this year, which is one of those things that I think will help us out a lot too, is being able to play at home some too.
Yeah, you got your Holiday Classic back again this year?
Right, we got our Holiday Classic back. I'm very excited about that. I've talked to Coach Bingham a little bit about what I want to do for that in the future, and try to make it even bigger next year. Of course, Coach Stepp on the girls' side, he has 16 teams, and I'm looking to do something like that on the boys' side. So hopefully we can get something rolling on that end. But I am excited to have that back at Berea. I know Coach Bingham is too, and I think a lot of the kids are too, because it's home. We were on the road twice for Christmas last year, and it was really tough. And I was like, no, I'm never doing that again. So I am excited to do that this year and get that rolling again.
Play Cumberland County in the first game of that. Who else is in that?
Models in it. Coach Borgerson was one of the first teams to sign up for it. It's close for them, and it's good for us. Of course, put them on the other side of the bracket. We got Jackson County, Rose Hill. Pineville is coming up for that, and I think Heritage Academy is coming down. So, we play every team in the tournament this year through the regular season. That's kind of the way it works. Is you play them, and they'll come to you, and it's kind of a trade-off a little bit. So it was kind of hard finding a team that we didn't play, which was Cumberland County. But I think all the rest of the 7 teams we played during the season. So hopefully we can see some of those teams and see what they're about and see kind of where we stack up.
Okay. Well, anybody else we haven't mentioned yet, varsity-wise, might get some playing time? Just trying to mention all the kids here.
Kind of going down the list there. I think we kind of covered everybody. I think most of those kids that played in the summer and are going to end up playing this year for us and everything. We've got one kid. He won't be eligible until after Christmas, but his name is Darius Walker. He came, of course, from Central this year. I think we tried to play football, but he wasn't able to. He may be able to help us out on the front just a little bit. And then, looking at the list there, I think we've covered everybody. I kind of hope to get about 10 guy rotation, especially where we're so young. Get about 10 guys rotating in the game. That way we can stay fresh, and that way we can get some guys some experience too.
Because you guys like to push it and play fast. So.
Yeah, we're going to try to play a little faster this year than what we did last year, but a little bit more under control, a little bit more set as far as what we're doing. But we're going to really try to get out and push the ball, which is what we did in our first scrimmage, and we did a really good job with it. We just got really tired. We had some guys out. It was coming back. Football guys coming back out. So we were only to play about 6 or 7 guys, and that really hurt because by the time the third, fourth quarter rolled around, we were pretty tired. So,
yep. All right. Well, it looks like an exciting season coming. A young team, but athletic, talented, and looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Really excited about it. So we'll see what it holds.
Cool. I appreciate you coming in here, and good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Welcome back. We are joined by Berea Community Girls coach Damian Stepp. Appreciate you coming in on a very breezy Sunday afternoon out there, huh?
Yeah, it's a little windy out there, but that's a good sign that that kind of winter's on its way and basketball season is upon us. So yeah, I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, you guys open the season Tuesday night at Madison Central, and be a very different looking team than people have been used to from your squad the past few years. 6 seniors gone, and another kid didn't come back. So basically, 7 of your top players not back, but you do have a very good, solid junior class. And it's kind of a new era down there with that big senior class moving on.
Yeah, I mean, that was a special group that kind of came along. We, very rarely do you have a kid that plays a significant amount as 7th grader, but we had a whole team of them that were 7th grade varsity players that we kind of brought all the way along, and you got quite a few. You got a few of those kids playing at the next level right now, and But yeah, we're definitely going to be a different team. We're going to look different, different personnel than what we counted on so heavily last year. But in that we got a lot of experience with the juniors that we have. A lot of experience with our guard play, which I think is huge in basketball in general, but in high school basketball, it's a game of guards. You have to have ball handling and as people kind of run your offense. And these guys have had a significant amount of experience with at the varsity level, over the last few years. So I think it's going to be it'll definitely be a work in progress. But I definitely think we can get to the point where we're competitive with other teams in the 11th region. So
yeah, no seniors on this roster, but like we said, the 6 juniors, and Abby, Sophie, Maddie, they've played a lot against top-notch competition, so they may be underclassmen, but they're certainly not they're not under-tested.
Yeah, obviously the two that are most obvious is Abby Beard and Maddie King. Those guys. A couple years back, Maddie had a knee injury. Those guys kind of stepped into a shared starting role. Those guys were out there a ton, and their playing time and their role got changed a little bit through the next couple of seasons. But last year Madison Howell had a knee injury, and Abby stepped in. So. She had about a third of the season as a starter. Sophie Brewer, I think, is somebody that a lot of people will. She's kind of flown under the radar to this point, but a lot of people will recognize her abilities this year. She's really a unique player. She can play inside, she can play outside, shoots the ball pretty well. She rebounds well. She finishes in and around the basket well. She can do a lot of things, and I said, she very well could be that kid that comes along and is that go-to player each night. Lauren Stepp will step into the lineup this year. Lauren is about 6 foot tall. She's a work in progress, but she's a lefty. Shoots the ball really well. We just got to get her kind of playing at pace of the varsity game. I think that'll be the challenge there. She's played a lot of JV basketball, and just the pace of the varsity game is a little quicker than what she's been used to. And then Mandy Newman, that's Alexis's little sister. Mandy will probably step into that fifth starting role this year with. She's a lot different than Alexis. Alexis was a shooter, not a super athlete. Mandy is kind of the opposite. She can shoot the ball a little bit, but she gets up down the floor. She's probably the fastest kid we have, top to bottom, and she'll bring a little different type of athleticism, and really all these guys do. I think these guys, They should be a much more athletic team than what we put on the floor the last few years. We just got a lot of. I think we just got a lot of learning to do, a lot of experience to pick up. It's one thing to have played a lot of varsity ball. It's another thing to go out there against your opponent's starting group, right out of the gate and play in that, that first quarter of the game, and those guys they're kind of learning their roles and kind of learning what they can and can't do. Had a productive summer, but we got a lot. Like I said, we got a lot ahead of us, a lot of work to do. So.
Yeah, and of that group, probably Maddie has played the most varsity. Back to even the freshmen, she'd get in there spot duty here and there, playing point guard at times.
Yeah, she's played. She played on and off. Some at the point spot. Maybe minutes wise, Abby's played. A ton in the last couple years. So, but yeah, those guys, like I say, they'll settle into those roles. That experience will pay off. We'll be a more athletic, faster paced team, but I don't know that it's with our lack of depth, I don't know that we can play that style. So we've got to kind of find a balance. Maybe between getting back and defending the basket, and then trying to push it on offense. trying to slow the opponent down and getting back and defending the basket. I don't think with our depth we're going to get into the habit of a lot of up down fast-paced games. So we've got to really work on controlling tempo, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you feel pretty good about those 6, but like you said, that's after that. It's kind of the unknown. After that is with just one sophomore, a couple of freshmen, and then some middle schoolers. So
yeah, I actually have another junior that has come back out this year. She's probably not showing up on the roster yet, but Miranda Thacker. She played through 8th grade and taken a couple years off. But Miranda had played with these guys all through middle school. Shoots the ball really well. She's trying to, again, anytime you haven't played a lot of varsity basketball, you have to kind of catch up with the pace of the game, the speed of the game, because it's just different. So I think as that progresses, she'll definitely bring a little bit. And then Katie Stepp, I think, there were times this summer she was our best rebounder. Katie go about 5'10", and she's just really physical. She got a good motor. She gets up and down. She's really solid. She's got good size to her, and so I say if there's somebody that kind of could have a significant contribution that has yet to do that, it may be Katie Stepp. She's a freshman, so I always say you got to have 8. I think we're kind of on that bubble there. I think we got 7. Maybe we could find another player or two that step up and kind of assume a little more responsibility. I think as far as varsity basketball goes, I think we'll be okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of like I said a little bit there, kind of adjust your style to what you have here. Kind of. You guys last couple of years really didn't kind of get up and down and run very much. You kind of half court sets and stuff like that. So you said you're more athletic. How does this team kind of fit into your style of play, or do you adjust the style of play to them?
Yeah, no, I mean, no doubt this bunch wants to get out and go, especially on offense. So I mean, if we can create some turnovers or secure rebounds and prevent teams from scoring, keep scoring down. Their first look is to get down the court. I mean, they want to go, and that was not the identity of this last group. We would get out and run some, but we were more of a get it, secure it, walk it up and down. We play wise and playbook wise, we run a ton of different stuff, and that bunch, that was kind of what they did, and what they did best, the execution. And this bunch is getting there. This group, this year's team is getting there to where that they've got a pretty good handle on most of what we want to run. We're adding in a few things, we're pulling out a few things, but they're more of a we'll do that if we can't score in transition kind of bunch, because they want to go. And we'll see how that works. But even middle school through their JV. They're more of a go make something happen. Go create a shot. Sprint down the floor in transition. It's just a different group, definitely. So
yeah. All right. Well, who else there might play some varsity minutes for you?
So we've got a sophomore, Tess McLean, who played some JV ball for us, and she'll do some spot play. And actually got a freshman. A point guard that I'm really excited about, named Absidy Baker. I think she can. The issue we got now, we got a lot of these kids are volleyball kids, so they will try to do both. But I think Absidy is going to be a really special player at Berea. So she'll definitely get a lot of minutes JV basketball, and I think she's another body that we can count on to come in and give us some minutes, if only minimal. So. Yeah, but we're excited. I mean, we're really excited about what we could, what we're looking at right now. We should have, for the next 2 seasons. So we may take our lumps, especially early on this year, and have to kind of find that new identity. But I think that as we do that, we're going to have the ability to kind of build that chemistry and build that group that next year will be really well in sync, or late season will be really well in sync because they're going to have to kind of build that chemistry together. So.
Yeah, well, 4 straight 11th Region All-A championships. Kind of, I'm sure you'd love to make it a 5th. Kind of scout out the competition there. Where do you guys stack up against LCA, Frankfort, and all those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that'll be a tougher challenge this year for us, but it's certainly within reason. We think we play Sayre in the first round, and Sayre has Callie Dennis, one of the better players in the region, maybe around the state. She's really good. They've got they've got several players back. They've got a new coach this season. Bart Bellairs had stepped down, a guy who I really respect, has done a really good job there, and so I don't really know, don't kind of know what that'll look like. Frankfort, as always, will be tough. They've got a hole to fill. Jemiah Chenault, she graduated last year, and she was kind of their go-to. But they've got a couple really good shooters, and they had some younger guard play last year that I'm sure will be a little more seasoned this year. So, you always got model. Lexington Christian looks to be better this year. I've seen them a little. Saw them in the summer. Then I saw them in their preseason scrimmages. They look to be much more competitive this season. And of course, with Coach Sutton taking over at model, who knows? I mean, he got a lot of experience and he certainly knows what he's doing. So I mean, it's definitely one of those where there's nobody that you could ever that you could take lightly ever. But this season, certainly a lot of that. We're not in a position where maybe we can look ahead a couple games and say that's the next one that we really got to put in a lot of time on. I think with our schedule, every night is going to be a struggle at times. Every night's going to be a dogfight. I mean, it's just we're just not we're not at the position where we're just going to be able to look at games on our schedule and say, well, I think that one's a win, or I think that. I mean, I look down the schedule right now and I'm like, I don't know, I just don't know. But that's exciting, and if you can't find those wins, it starts to get frustrating. But right now it's exciting because we're kind of eager to see what we can do with this group, and this group's eager to kind of show and showcase what they can do without the kids that just graduated too. So
yeah.
It's exciting. So.
All right. Well, tough schedule starts Tuesday night at Madison Central, and Friday night you're at a really good Paris team as well. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna be tested right off the bat. So appreciate you coming in, and best of luck to you.
Yeah, appreciate you having us, and good luck to all teams in their season opener here this week. So.
All right.
And now back to Nathan Hutchison at the sports desk.
Hi, legendary. Should I call you legendary?
I don't know. No, it's more old. Old, yeah.
Madison Central coach Alan Veldhouse Jr. giving us a little preview of the upcoming season. It's just another year of Indian basketball. You guys are preseason ranked in the state. You have a tremendous schedule. You got a lot of players back, a lot of high expectations around your program, and that's just what we expect from Madison Central basketball.
Yeah, we're really excited. It's just going to take a while. When you have, 5 out of your top 7 are football players, yeah. I mean, these first few weeks are going to be rough. I mean, they've only been in the gym. I guess today will be their second real practice. So we actually scrimmaged male. I guess it was this past Tuesday, and they've been in the gym one day. So they're definitely rusty, and people just don't understand what a big difference there is conditioning-wise for football and basketball. And I keep telling you, fellas, you will not feel comfortable till January. It takes that long to get in good basketball shape. Unfortunately, we don't get to take a 30-second rest between every possession. So, especially the way we're trying to play our old style of getting after people full court this year. So maybe they'll round into shape a little sooner because of that.
Yeah, that's got to be tough for you. I mean, you're such a big supporter of all the sports at the school, but the longer the football team plays, the longer you don't get your players. But I mean, you rooting. I'm sure you're rooting for them and the team.
We're used to it, and December does not mean a thing. Yeah. So we have to keep telling ourselves that. But when you're getting ready to start scrimmaging and playing games, you've only been in the gym together as a unit for 2 or 3 days. it's kind of hard, but we're used to it. We'll get through it.
Yeah. Well, look, a lot of familiar faces on this team. Once you finally do get them back out there, really only lost 2 starters from last year. Of course, Will graduated, but the rest of the guys back. You got Robbie Todd for a 5th year. He's back. He's a non-football guy, so he's been with.
Yeah,
you.
he and Jalen both they've been in the gym the whole time. And truthfully, it's been good to work those younger kids because we've got to find a little bit more depth this year than we had last year, and we think we've got 2 or 3 kids that have kind of stepped up that I think I can feel comfortable throwing them in there in a varsity game, and whereas last year we couldn't. So hopefully that'll be a noticeable difference for people that we're going to have 7 or 8 that will feel comfortable playing.
Yeah, you basically only played about 6 kids for the final 2 months of the season last year.
Oh, that was
and those kids played their hearts out.
Oh, they did.
Heroic effort.
They did.
20 wins.
And basically 2 JV players having to start because of the circumstances. But, of course, that's going to help us this year. I mean, Eli and Parker got valuable varsity experience, and they're very comfortable this year. And both of them bigger and stronger than they were last year. And both of them have that toughness that we like, and both of them, I just think they'll be a lot more comfortable this year.
Yeah. Well, the biggest addition, obviously, Hagen Harrison was not eligible last year because of the KHSA and whatever their crazy rules are. But he's back for you this year. And, I'll be honest. I went back and looked at the numbers, and I didn't know how good this kid was at Montgomery County. 24 points a game as a junior over there. I never saw him play there. I'm sure you did with all the scouting and stuff you guys do.
Yeah, we played him. Mm-hmm.
And he did play a little bit of JV for you last year. But if folks haven't seen this kid play, we've seen him play football a lot the last 2 years. But if you haven't seen him play basketball, he's a tremendous basketball player.
He is, and he's not just a scorer. He's a very willing passer and a really good passer. Our ball screen action with he and Robbie, he's really good at finding the roll man when Robbie's open or finding our wings when they lift. He's a really good passer too, and it's been kind of a change for Hagen because I don't think he's used to playing with other really good players, and he's adapted to that well. He's not truthfully, he's not 100%. He's battling. We really don't know what it is. We got to get him to an ortho or something. His calf muscles are tightening up, and both his legs and feet just kind of go numb. Well, it's really kind of scary. So we're giving him 3 or 4 days off, and hopefully come back in and practice Sunday before we open up on Monday. He played the entire scrimmage against Mayo Tuesday night, but he definitely wasn't 100%. A lot of it's conditioning coming from football, but there's still something I don't know what has something to do with this. When he broke his foot, we really don't know what it is. But we got to get him back healthy. When he's healthy, he's a really good basketball player.
Yeah. And like I said, he missed some time with football with the broken foot. But even he comes back from that a lot quicker than everybody thought he would. And he's doing open gyms with you guys during the middle of football season.
He was actually practicing with us.
You can't keep the kid
Monday
out of the
through
gym.
Thursday because we go in the mornings. We practice at 6 a.m. in the mornings during football season because there's a JV football kid or 2 that doesn't play much varsity that could come in and practice with us. But I think Hagen made a little arrangement with Coach Holcomb that I want to be in that gym when basketball starts when they practice in the morning. So he wouldn't practice on Fridays, but Monday through Thursday most of the time he was in there, and then he would practice with football after school. He loves it. He's a competitor, but I don't know what. We just got to somehow figure out what's going on with those legs, and we want him back 100% so people can see the real Hagen Harrison.
Yeah, another kid you hope to have back at 100%, but it may not be for a while. Is Kenyatta Harge. Of course, the past 2 years he's blown out both knees and in football, but it looks like you'll get him back January-ish.
Yeah, we're hoping. He's ahead of schedule. He's going non-contact stuff. He's doing all of our shooting drills and non-contact drills, and the doctors say he's ahead of schedule. If there's anybody deserves a little good luck, it's Kenyatta. And of course, just having him in, even though we can't go 5-on-5 stuff or live stuff, just having his energy in practice. It's like night and day when he's in the gym, when he's not in the gym. Everybody else just kind of seems to feed off of him. So we're hoping maybe by the middle of January or at least the 1st of February that he'll be back full-fledged, and we can throw him in there. He deserves to have a chance. And of course, he's just a junior. He doesn't have one more full year, but we'd like to have him by the time postseason rolls around this year.
Back out there clapping his hands and getting right down to
just just like I said, I mean,
he just gets everybody so
he
fired
does.
up. Yeah.
He does. He pumps everybody up.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about Jalen Davis for years now, and I think we sat here 2 or 3 years ago and talked about a skinny 130-pound kid, and he's filled out. He's bigger.
Oh, yeah.
He's still got that silky smooth shot, and probably one of the best shooters in the state. And he's had a great career, and obviously looking to finish it out with a great senior year.
Yeah, and he's a lot better than he was last year because he has gotten stronger. And I don't know if it's because he has gotten stronger. He's playing tougher and a little bit more physical, and not afraid to mix it up there in the paint. And actually, in our scrimmage the other night against Mayo, he was our leading rebounder, and he's got to rebound because Will was our leading rebounder, and Will couldn't jump that high, so we got to have somebody else to kind of pick up the slack on the boards. I think he scored 31 when we played Mayo at Mayo, and he's looked really good. I just think he's a lot of Jalen's problems with us, I think, has been just lack of maturity, not only physical maturity but mental maturity too. I just think he's growing up, and we're kind of throwing that leadership role on him. I mean, you got to lead this team and do it in the right direction. You can't pout when something goes wrong. You got to handle adversity a little bit better because you're going to get some double teams, and you're going to get people who are just going to face guard you the whole time, kind of the way when we played Great Crossing over there last year. And you got to handle it better. I mean, it's a compliment to you.
Yeah.
You just got to figure out a way. You got to work even harder to get your shots off when you got people going to play you like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a compliment when people target you.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's
they
what
want to
kids don't
stop you.
realize.
They know you're good, and they want
Well,
to
in the
stop
past, Jalen he'd want to pout. He's doing that. Jalen, you may tell him to quit guarding you. No, you got to fight through it, and you got to work harder to get you a shot. So I think he's trying to kind of figuring that out now.
Yeah, one other guy was an older guy, leader, Robbie, coming back for his 5th year. Of course, we weren't sure he was going to get it or not. I think initially he had applied for it when he was at Rowan a couple of years ago. Then I don't know even how this process works anymore, but luckily he got it, and he's back for you.
Yeah, well, he should. If there's anybody deserved to have that extra year, Robbie, because he's so young. I mean, he would have graduated at 17. So he definitely needed that year. And I think it was kind of when we got him, he'd applied for it at Rowan County. He didn't know how he was going to like Madison Central, but once he got here, I think he fell in love with their program, the way we do things. So it's really what's best for him. So, yes, we're really excited to get Robbie back, and you know what you're going to get from Robbie day in and day out. He's going to work his tail off, and we're going to let him get out on the floor because he can shoot, but we have to keep reminding Robbie, look at our size. You're the only one we got that's 225 down there. We got to get you inside there too. So, yeah, we're really happy to have him back. Just such a good teammate, just such a good team player.
Yeah. Will jump that high. He jumps about that high. Right?
No, Robbie's got he's got a few hops on. He's got some hops on him now.
Yeah. Well, like you said, Jaden West, the kid that's back for you, and it's obviously just athletic as can be. We saw that on the football field with 15 touchdown catches, I think it was, and 5 interceptions. Just maybe one of the best athletes Madison Central has had in a long time.
No question about it. Top 3 since I've been here with Keneal Jenkins and Dominique, and Jaden athletically is right up there with those two. I mean, he just brings an element to our team that we don't have. We got to get him healthy. He's still got that boot and going through PT with therapy on that ankle. So hopefully it won't be much longer. We can at least get him back in there practicing and working his way back in there. Of course, he played with us all summer. We just got to get him in good basketball shape and back in the swing of things basketball-wise.
Yeah, I saw him over at your camps and everything. He was helping out.
Oh, yeah. He was with us all summer. When you go from football to basketball, it just takes a while. And plus, he was kind of beat up a little bit, too. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the 2 kids that got thrown into the fire last year, and Eli Steele and Parker Mullins, ended up having to play a lot of minutes. And to be perfectly honest, at first they seemed a little timid, but they grew into those roles. Especially, I thought Eli really blossomed. And by the end there, he was being aggressive, taking shots, whereas early on, both those guys were very quick to pass off to somebody else.
Yeah,
but they grew, they matured, they really seemed like they flourished in those roles, and they weren't scared of the moment by the end of the season.
No.
Not they were scared in the beginning, but they embraced the moment.
No, and of course they both started all summer for us, and I just like the toughness aspect that both of them bring to our team. It's not just they're about half nasty to tell you the truth. Both of them have a little nasty streak, and you need that. But once again, they're coming out of football, and their conditioning's not where it's gonna be. But they're going to do exactly what you ask them to do. And that's what we told them. They're going to get the weakest defenders from the other team, and they're going to be given shots. So you can't be afraid to step up there and take those shots. Hit or miss, you've got to take those shots. And they got to spend a little extra time in the gym on their own, getting up shots. But we want them to shoot, because we know they're going to get open looks, because those other guys are going to get the primary defenders off the other team, and they're going to leave them open. And Eli probably offensively a little further along than Parker, but Parker, I think, is more of a mentality. He thinks he's willing to do all that other stuff, but he's going to be left open. He's got knock down those shots. I remember last year we went over to Great Crossing to play that first game of the regional tournament. They had big Malachi Marino guarding him, and he never came out of the paint. And I was so happy. Parker jumped up there and shot that first one and missed it. We got the rebound, kicked it back to him. He went ahead and shot it again, and he made it. I think he hit another one after that. I mean, he's got to shoot the open shots. But I just like the way both of them are willing to get dirty and get down there after those loose balls and mix it up. And they're going to fight on defense and claw on defense, and those are the type of guys you can win with.
Yeah. Well, historically, you don't go very deep on your bench, but you're probably going to need to, especially early in the season. So who are some other kids who are going to play a lot for you?
Well, definitely. We scrimmage tomorrow. I think Hagen's going to be out. Jaden's going to be out. Yeah, we're definitely going to need some. Of course, Kenyatta's out. Landon Ray's had a really good preseason for us, just a sophomore at the perimeter. He's shooting the ball, looking to shoot the ball from the perimeter. Keith Stewart, Jr.'s played with us all along. He's a smart kid. He's got to work on his shot a little bit, but we just want these kids to come in there and take the shot when you're open, be tough defensively, not turn the basketball over. Another one that's physically probably a little ahead of some of the others is Luke Asher, who's actually a COVID freshman for us. He's about 6'4", 205, 210. I mean, he looks the part, so he's probably going to get a little time here early, just for his physicality mainly, but I think he can be a really nice player for us down the road. But we're probably going to have to throw him into the fire here a little bit early so we can get all these other guys back.
Yeah, well, as always, you have a loaded schedule here. You do every year, it seems like. So until you get these guys healthy, you might take some lumps, but I know you guys are always, it's long-term, big picture. If you go 1-5 in December, you guys aren't going to freak out or whatever. I mean, it is what it is. It's long-term, and you're looking toward March.
Yeah.
February, March. Yeah.
Well, those preseason rankings came out. I guess the Courier was the first one to put the rankings out. Their top 25, and I think we played 11. 11 out of the 25 are on our regular season, and 4 out of the top 5. And it wasn't 30 minutes after those. I think I tweeted something, our schedule, and tweeted something about that. And then it wasn't 30 minutes after that, Lexington Catholic sends us their pairings for their tournament, and the only team in the top 5 that we didn't play was Warren Central, and that's who we played the first round of. So now we play 12 out of the top 25, and all 5 of the top 5 teams in the state. But that's what we like. Yeah, we will take some lumps. I promise you, we will take some lumps. So with that type of schedule, I mean, you're going to take some lumps, but we got to learn from it. And teams like that, they'll expose what your weaknesses are, and you can go back and work on those weaknesses. And record does not mean anything. Your record once you get into postseason, that's the one that's important. But your record in preseason really means absolutely nothing. And me as a coach, I get fired up when we play those teams, and when we play some of those teams that you're better than that. I'm more guilty of it probably than the players of looking past those. So I'll take the blame for that. So that's why I try to find the best we can play. I think we've accomplished that.
Is it Monday at Pulaski? Is that the first one?
Yeah, that will be tough. They're ranked top 3 in their region. Of course, they were undefeated forever last year. They came in their first game of the year last year and beat us in overtime. They had a few seniors, but they got a lot of kids back, and we're not playing at home either. We're playing down there, so that's always a challenge, especially if we don't have all of our guys. It'll definitely be a challenge. Okay. And then we have Friday, first home game against Lafayette.
Yeah. All right, well, appreciate you coming in. We look forward to another great season of Madison Central basketball. It's always exciting, always lots of fun, and I mean, you guys, that's what Madison Central basketball is about every year.
Yeah, the good thing, we've got a lot of good teams coming in here for home games this year. Of course, we've got the White Greer and Maggard Classic where we're actually playing North Laurel. Reed Shepherd will be coming in, and Mayo and Covenant Catholic will be playing before that, the first game. And Lexington Catholic's here, Trinity's here. I think Trinity's I saw them this summer. They had a good recruiting year, put it that way. They'll probably be the number one in the state when they roll in here. So, yeah, our schedule, our fans get to see a lot of good teams come into Madison Central.
We won't get you started on transfers and all that stuff. We won't,
No,
I'm a bad one.
I'm a bad one to talk about that.
That's all right. We understand how you feel. You made your opinions known very, very well. And they're very, very valid points.
Right. I think so,
my
too.
opinion, too. So there you go. Appreciate you coming in.
All right. Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate it.
We'll see you Friday night.
All righty.
And now back to Nathan Hutchison at the sports desk.
Welcome back. We are joined by Madison Central girls basketball coach Scott True, and I want to say new, but you were hired back in April, and it seems like you've been on the job for a long time. So even though you've not actually coached a game, an official game yet, feels like you've been around for quite a while and been around these girls for quite a while.
Yeah, it's that summer really getting comfortable with them was really nice for us. We played a full slate of summer games, did some things in July, had a little kids camp, and of course we've been practicing, since the latter part of August. So feel pretty comfortable. Still anxious to get that first game under our belt and kind of get in routine with things during the season. But it's been a lot of fun getting to know the girls and setting expectations and that sort of thing early on.
Yeah, it is great though to get in as early as you did.
It was nice to get with them, to have the summer. I think the summer ball is really important for individuals, but also you're out traveling together and doing stuff together, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of bonding going on there. So I felt like that was really big for us.
Yeah, like you said, you do the camps and all that stuff, and so anything to be around them and get to know them a little bit personally.
Yeah, and I think it's important for the community to see them and having the kids camp and letting some of those younger players, our future Lady Indians come in and work with them is really good for our program, and it's good for our girls to give back and do some of that stuff, and we've done some of that with the holiday season. So again, just part of building the program and building the culture we want to have.
Yeah, I guess before we get into the players here, what kind of style are people going to? Are you going to play kind of the same style that Robbie and Brad Lovely did, or kind of what is your style a little bit different than them, or kind of what do we expect from the Lady
We're going to be
Indians?
pretty up tempo. We want to get it out and try to score in transition. We think that's best for our personnel. Probably going to see a little more man-to-man. I've always been a man-to-man guy and really like that defense. But we will mix in some zone and match-up zone, do some different things depending on what we need. But offensively, we're going to try to spread the floor a little bit and use our speed and quickness to do that. If we have a lack at size, we don't have a ton of size, so we feel like we've got to use that and our ability to spread the floor and create some offense with our defense. We emphasize a lot. If you can score in transition, if we never run a play and we score 60, I'm okay with that. So let's just go do that. So that you'll see a lot of us pushing the ball and trying to create offense with our defense.
Yeah, the only really kind of interior presence last year, Cassidy Mellon, was the only senior who graduated. So I guess that is kind of the question mark there, I guess, is the only
It
inside.
is, and we're going to lean on Bailey Hensley to fill that void for us. She averaged double-double last year as a sophomore, and she's really ready. She has a college body as far as strength and conditioning, that sort of thing, and her game's continuing to improve. So we're going to rely heavily on her for inside presence and rebounding, and then we also have a new face in Emma Kate Lawson who will reply in the post. But we're going to be very much a rebound by committee team with Chloe Freeman and Olivia Metcalf and some other girls stepping into those roles and trying to help us down low. Brooke Campbell is going to be a big force on the boards. And we're going to have to do that by committee because we just don't have that one dominating post to just go in and clean it up for us.
Yeah, and Lawson and Hensley are not true five back-to-the-back type.
They're not.
No, but they're the scrappers, talented.
Yeah, they are. And Bailey and EK have a really neat presence about them around the basket. They're willing to use their quickness. I think sometimes it makes them harder to block out because when they really decide they're going to go after the rebound. So again, we're going to rely on that and try to create some second shots for ourselves with our quickness.
Yeah, lots of guards, lots of offense there. You do get Eve Carter back after a year away from the sport.
Yeah, we get Eve and even her sister Eden are playing. Eve will be one of our two seniors, her and Chloe. And we've got some depth at the guard spot with Natea Strader and Brittany Campbell and Brooke Campbell. Chloe can play the guard. Olivia can play the guard. Tiana Long has done a really good job for us this summer. So we have some depth there. It's pretty young depth. A lot of sophomores in that group. But they played last year, and they have some experience. So we'll rely on them a little bit to get us into our stuff and really get us going. And then hopefully we can get the big thing out of that group is the shooting. We've got it to be more consistent on the offensive end. We've got to shoot the ball a little better.
Yeah.
And we've done some of that this summer, so we're excited about that.
Yeah, I just looked that up earlier. You guys last year, 38% from the field.
Yeah,
and
and we've got
24% from three. So.
Yeah, and we've got to take more threes than they did last year, I think. But we shot it a lot better this summer. We've emphasized that, and all summer and in the preseason, we're getting a lot of shots up and trying to get some confidence in kids. I think a lot of it was just believing it's going to go in, and some of it was we were freshmen shooting 3 in a varsity game. So they've done some of that now. I think will help us. But we've definitely got to shoot the ball better, but we can't forget to get the ball into the paint, whether either on the drive or kicking it inside to one of our posts, and then using the kick out for the 3 or getting the 3 in transition.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get a bunch of those.
Yeah, and Chloe is probably your best 3-point shooter, right?
Yeah, she is, and Chloe, was hurt a lot last year, sick part of the year, and really, it was really big in our first scrimmage. We scrimmaged Madison County a couple weeks ago, and I guess 34 possessions, she hit a 3 for us. And if we can get those 3s from her and O and Brooke, it really frees us up to do some other things offensively that makes us a lot better.
Yeah, and I see you mentioned the two Campbell twins there, and they're a lot of fun to watch. Brittany run the point for you, along with Eve a little bit.
Brittany and Natea have kind of shared that point role with Eve a little bit. The system we're kind of running, it doesn't really matter as far as we get to half court, who's doing it and who sets it up. Of course, you have that traditional point guard, and Brittany is that. Brittany's big thing from the summer was, she had her turnover to assist ratio was a positive, like 4 to 1. So every 4 assists, she had 1 turnover. In some games, it was better than that. And if she keeps that and takes care of the ball for us, it gets us extra possessions, sets other players up to create some shots, and she's done a really good job with that for us.
Yeah, you mentioned, just have the 2 seniors. A lot of these kids are juniors and sophomores, but they've already got a ton of varsity experience.
They do. They do.
They're playing as middle schoolers.
Yeah, and we've got to rely on that. And our schedule, the schedule was Coach Cussy had the schedule finished when I got here, and if there's a tougher schedule in the state, I'd have to find it. I haven't seen it yet. We're going to play, I think we figured out the other day, 6 or 7 top 20 teams. A couple of them in the top 10, one's in the top 5, and most of those are on the road. So plus the 11th region teams.
Yeah.
If we handle that, it will prepare us for the postseason. As long as we don't let that schedule beat us up a little bit physically and mentally, it'll really help us come postseason. And again, getting more offense out of Olivia Metcalf, out of Brooke Kemp. Brooke played exceptional in 2 scrimmages and hit a couple 3s for us. So if we get that frees up some kids that other people have heard of, Bailey, Natea, to go do some other things.
Yeah, because it just certainly did seem like there were a lot of games last year where it was, Bailey lighting up the stat sheet and everybody else with 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 2 points,
Yeah,
so
sure.
Need a little more distribution there.
We do, and we'll get some of that, I think, just playing more kids. We're going to play, 8 or 9 kids most nights in a varsity game. So, and encouraging the kids, we tell them all the time, be a shooter. Catch a thing, take a good 3, and let's go play. And hopefully, again, creating some offense with our defense will create some transition opportunities for some players as well.
Yeah, that's one thing about Bailey. There's no hesitation in her. She's
not. She does a really good job for us, and she struggled early, I guess, in our second scrimmage and missed a couple, and then come fourth quarter, I think she was 5 of 6 from the field. And really turned things around. So she's a pretty tough kid, and I tell her all the time, well, you can miss, but we're still going to throw it in there again. So you're just going to shoot it again, so just keep putting it up there.
When you got your Holiday Classic again this year, our buddies at Adams.
And got a really good field for that. Fits in really well with our schedule. We've got South Oldham's coming. I think they were picked 2nd or 3rd in the region. The Dixie Heights, Connor, both in a very, very, very tough region up there. Will be top 4 or 5 in that region. Lafayette's coming. Rockcastle, who we see early in the season, and Chrissy does a great job at Rockcastle. They're always really, really good. Graves County and Perry County Central, I think that's the rest of it. Graves picked to win their region. Perry County Central's picked 1st or 2nd, depending on where you're looking there. So it'll be some really good basketball. Times are pretty consistent. We're going to start on the 21st, 22nd at noon. And run a game about an hour and 45 minutes. And then the last day, we're going to start at 11, trying to get people home for Christmas. and get those games in. So it'll be a great time to come out and see some good basketball.
Yeah, great time on Tuesday night as well when you have Berea in. So this has become kind of traditional the last couple of years.
It has. Coach Stepp and I have talked about that. We're not sure how that got started. And I'm like, you were here, I wasn't, so you should know. But he's kind of indicated that we might want to change that tradition playing early. But, it's tough. And when you open up with a district opponent early, even though the district's not seeded, those district games are really important because you're going to have to beat somebody to get to the regional tournament. So he does a great job, and the kids play really hard. So it was funny. We scrimmaged the other day at 10 o'clock, and he was sitting there watching us, and then we stuck around. He scrimmaged at 5, and of course we stayed and watched them. So there aren't a lot of secrets, but we joke about it all the time. But it'll be a tough game. Open up with them and then run right into Rockcastle on Friday night in a Borgo doubleheader. So it's a tough opening week.
And December 15th, the big one, the Madison Southern. So.
Yeah, and in between there we get I think we get Henry Clay, Connor, and GRC before we run into Southern. So again, very tough schedule, but I think it'll prepare us for that. Again, district opponent early with Southern, and I think depending on which poll you're looking in, they're picked second or third in the region. Yeah. So again, it kind of fits with everything else that we're doing. So we'll just have to, we'll tee it up early and see what we got. And I tell the kids on you can control your attitude and your effort. If we control those two things, a lot of good things will happen as hard as we play. And I think that'll be true. Especially as we move toward the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, with them getting all the attention down there, you guys kind of flying under the radar.
Yeah, I do. I kind of like that us against the world mentality. Nobody's picking you, got no pressure, that sort of thing. I've coached long enough. I've been the chaser, and then I've been the chasee. I enjoyed the chaser a little more than the chasee anyway, so kind of my makeup. But I think that, you just have to go play. And you're in the 11th region, and any night you don't show up in the 11th region, you get beat. And then you throw in the other games we have, as we said, at GRC, at Anderson, at Bullitt East, at Harlan. This group will be battle tested by the time we get to February in the district tournament.
Yeah, they've been through this before. Like we said, these kids have all played a lot of varsity time. So.
They have, and they know kind of where we are and what we're doing. I do think we've changed some things with the coaching change, and I think that we'll hopefully free some of them up to do some things on the offensive end, especially if we can get out again and transition and go. And that's been really good for us this summer. If you want to look at concerns, we've emphasized from the day we walked into it, we have to block out because we're not very big. And so the rebounding would be the thing. You can look at most games, especially most high school girls games, and you look at the turnover stat and the rebounding stat. And if you win those two stats, you're probably going to win the game. And we've tried really hard to emphasize that to our team. Let's win those two stats, and then we'll see where we are.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming in. We're looking forward to it. Like I said, I feel like I've watched these kids,
sure.
A lot of them for 4 or 5 years now. So we've become very familiar with them.
Yeah. And coaching in the 11th region, the last several years, I've watched some of them in middle school, and then to get the opportunity to coach them now has been a lot of fun.
All right, we look forward to it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And now back to Nathan Hutchison at the sports desk.
Well, Coach Bill Bevins, and Coach, you've been an assistant here for a long, long time, man. How's it feel to finally get that head coaching job and take over your own program?
No, it feels great. Like you said, I've been here. This is 20 years actually. I've been here. So I came in with Coach Buttrey in 2003 and began as assistant at that point, and kind of worked my way up and did freshman for a while and done JV for a while, and I've known the whole time, that eventually I would love to be the head coach one day, but just kind of doing my thing and coaching ball every day, and eventually here we are, so it's worked out.
Yeah, and of course Coach Newton left not that long ago, so it was kind of late in the process, so kind of I'm sure you were very happy because I know there was interest in the position, so very very happy that they chose you to carry on here, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I knew from the beginning when Coach Newton said, I think I'm going to try to apply for this and see what happens. Then, I knew he had a pretty good job, a pretty good shot at getting that job. He does a great job, and I thought he may get it. And at that point, I was like, okay, well, let's go. Let me see if I can get this, and we'll just hopefully keep the train rolling.
Yeah, and you step into a great position. I mean, all these kids. The district champs last year, advancing to the region semifinals. Some of the best players in the region are on this squad. So it's definitely a good situation to come into.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like I said, I've known forever that I would love to be the head coach one day, and stepping in right now, we've got a good thing going. We've got some great players. I love these guys. I've coached them all. As they've come up through our system, and I'm super excited. I mean, I realize I'm stepping into a good situation and just ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the rest of your staff. Who you brought on?
Okay, so we've got Christian Pope is still on staff. He's been with us for the last 3 or 4 years. He's been doing our freshman recently, and he's going to move up and have a new role. He's going to do JV for us. Matt Adams is still on staff with us. He's going to be doing our freshmen. So they have 3 guys, including myself, that have been around the system and the staff before, and so all our guys are familiar with us. I'm bringing on a new volunteer assistant. I've got somebody else that's in the building that knows basketball really well that's going to help us behind the scenes. Working with another former player, maybe trying to bring him back as an assistant as well. So, yeah, we got a lot going on.
All right, and basically bring back pretty much your entire team from last year. And, I graduated a couple of seniors, but it's a lot of the same kids.
Yeah, so we got a lot of guys back. Yeah, I'm excited about what we returned for sure. We lost some guys that we're going to miss. We had a good senior class last year. Those guys accomplished a lot. But we bring back a lot. We bring back a lot of scoring. We bring back a lot of rebounding, a big percentage of what caused us to be successful last year. So I think we should be right there again.
Yeah, and it's not only bring them back, but you got that trifecta of the Hudsons and Rose for 2 more years, this year and next year. So those guys are just juniors.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they've been in our system already for 3 years, so they know how to play and they know what we're looking for, and I mean they're fired up and chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I guess talk a little bit about some of these guys. We'll start off with the Hudson twins there.
So the best word I know for them is fiery or competitive. Those guys just flat get after it every single day. I don't know that I've ever coached 2 guys before that want to win as bad as those 2 for sure.
Yeah, and Big J there.
Yeah, Jay. So Jay's proven scorer. Absolutely. He's got our school record for points in a game. He's got the school record for points in a season. He's really skilled. He's big. He's tall. He's 6'3", 6'4". Skilled. He's just he's ranked as one of the best players in the region, and for good reason. I mean, he can play for sure.
Yeah, Casey-Nabi,
I love his his just mentality. So he wins every sprint we do in practice. He's so competitive. Defensively, he's been really good for us. He runs the team. He knows our stuff. He's really good at communicating and getting our guys in the right spots. He stepped up last year as a freshman and had a major role, and is looking to just improve on that this year.
You got the mountain back too, right? Brett?
Oh yeah, Brett's back. I love him, man. Me and Brett have a great relationship. So he gets in there and he battles. He's got nice, big hands that his hands are good, right? His feet are good. He can move well. And you're not going to move him. So I love having him in the middle, take up space and score and rebound and bang, and just the guys respect him. He's a great addition in there for sure.
Okay, I got Ashton Hazelwood back and a bunch of other kids. So just talk about some other guys.
Yeah, so Ashton came in. He played a lot for us last year as a JV guy, and then played some varsity some. And he was injured a lot last year, and he had to kind of take a step back. But he's healthy now, and he shoots it really well. He guards well. He's really good at talking on the floor and communicating with our guys. He's super positive. I love having him. We've got a couple more guys that I think are going to come in and contribute for sure. Avery Davidson has played a lot for me in the past. He's a soccer player, football player. He's just all around great athlete. I think he's going to be in the rotation for sure. I'm looking for some big things from him. We're bringing back some other pieces that I had last year on my JV team that I'm looking to step up and be varsity contributors this year. Micah Whitaker is one of those. Mason Davis is one of those. We've got another kid coming off the football team that I think was not here last year to transfer. His name is Preston Williams. Plays football for us. So I think he may come in and be a big, strong kid that's a leader, and that the guys they respect him from being around him in the hallway and seeing him with the football guys. So I'm really excited. I think we got a lot of pieces to be really successful.
All right. Well, congratulations on finally getting the head coaching job.
Yeah.
It's worth the wait, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right.
And now back to Nathan Hutchison at the sports desk.
Welcome back. We're joined by Madison Southern Girls coach Josh Curtis. And Josh, we talked to you a while back, and we thought we had our season preview interview with you, but some things have changed for your ball club, unfortunately.
Yes.
And so the season looks a little bit different, so we wanted to bring you back, and we're very appreciative that you took some time out of your day today to come up here and talk to us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course, the big news and the bad news is Reese Estep, who we thought would be back for a fifth year as a senior, won't be. The same knee she injured last year, re-injured it again. So effectively, her high school career is unfortunately over.
Yeah, it is. It's it's a tough situation for anybody to get injured, but to go through it 3 times is just, you can't comprehend it. And anybody who knows Reese, player aside, she's just a great person. And we always talked about, you don't understand why bad things happen to good people.
Yeah.
And she is just a prime example of that. And she's such a great kid, and I'll give her credit. I mean, she's more mature than I could be with this situation. Just how positive she's been through every single thing, and just the adversity that she still continues to show. Like, it's really inspiring and motivating.
Yeah, and freshman year it was one knee, then last year it was the other knee, and this is the same knee again. So this is it just doesn't. I've never heard of anybody have 3. It just seems so horrible and so unlikely of a thing to happen. But it unfortunately it did.
It did, and you never want anybody on your team to get hurt, especially one of your best players, your senior, who has worked so hard to get back to this spot. Fortunately for her, she still wants to continue to play basketball, so she still has basketball ahead of her. But I know right now and going through this season is going to be tough for her.
Yeah, still going to go to Campbellsville University.
Yeah, still going to go to Campbellsville.
But she is going to hang around with the team this year.
She is.
I guess
she's
she
going
probably could have gone in the spring and gone to college if she wanted.
We're going to try to find a way to pay her and make her an assistant coach at this point. So
NIL deal or something.
There you go. Yeah, some
like
sunglasses.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She'll have the sunglasses on the bench, and she'll be sitting over there hanging out. She's always got a smile on her face, even with everything she's been through.
She's very positive.
So unfortunately, you'll have to shuffle the deck. But the thing is, you did this last year. Without her, you guys won a district championship. You won a region tournament game. So you guys kind of know the pieces you have to kind of make this work. And obviously, you wish you had her. You're obviously a better team with her,
right.
But you're still a pretty good team without her.
Yeah.
A really good team without her.
Yeah, and hopefully this makes sense. But unfortunately, we were fortunate to go through this already last year. You never want to go through anything like that, but we did have to go through it. So a lot of the players that we're going to ask to step up and do some things for us this year, they already were thrown in this position last year. So the jitters, the nerves, that should be out of there. The experience that's there to do this, and they're all capable players that can produce as well. And just like we've talked about, we don't need anybody to come out here and be Reese. Just we need everybody to do what you did last year and just do a little bit more.
Yeah. Without her, we still have 6 seniors who are very experienced, who have been through this, and got some younger players, obviously. You have a freshman who's considered one of the best players in the region as well. So talented roster here, and the kids that have all been through this and know what to expect, know what the expectations are. And the expectations have never been higher for this program. I mean, you're picked 2, 3, 4 by some publications in the 11th region, which, geez, I can't think of any time. The last time any Madison County team had been picked that high up on the rankings in the preseason. So the expectations are high, but these kids have been through this. They know what to expect.
Yeah, I mean, depth is our friend this year. We do have a lot of depth, and we have a lot of good, talented players. And they know that there's pressure that comes with that and expectations. And we've talked about how the target's on your back. You're going to get everybody's best shot every night. No one's going to feel sorry for you if you've got a full roster or not. Everybody's going to try to knock you off. There's a lot of good teams within our district as well as our region. So, we were talking about this yesterday. We thought we knew what we were going to be. Some injuries have shuffled things around for us. So we are far from a finished product right now. Whatever ranking people have us, we're not that right now. And that's the fun part of going through a season, is you get to see where you started in November and see where you ended in hopefully March. So we're going to go through some growing pains, but we think we've got what we need to be in a good spot by the end of the year. So it's going to be fun just to watch this team and as individuals as well grow.
Yeah, not only your team ranked among one of the best in the 11th region, your freshman point guard, Hadley French, some publications have her as the second best player in the 11th region as a freshman. That's crazy, but she's that good.
She is. Anybody that's ever watched her play in middle school or anywhere, it's just she seems like she's been a
senior point guard for years. Just her basketball IQ, how calm she is. Just she sees things. She's a coach out there. She sees 2 things ahead of time. And we put a ton of pressure and expectations on her, and that can be a lot for a freshman. No matter how talented they are, they still have freshman minds. And she just delivers for us. She's a great leader on the floor. She's learning how to become more of a vocal leader, and she knows that no matter what age she is, that there's people that look up to her, whether they're younger than her or older than her. So luckily, she's got a lot of good players around her this year to help her out. But we're going to have to ask her to do a lot again.
Yeah, let's break down all 6 of those seniors. All of them have been in the system. They've all played. They all played different roles. We can just go in alphabetical order if you want. But Jada,
sure.
A kid who really stepped up last year when Reese was out. Just ferocious rebounder. Just gets in there, plays hard. Has some offensive skill too. But energy player and does a lot for you.
Yeah, you won't find a Jada anywhere else. She is a leader if I've ever seen one. She is as tough as nails. She set the rebounding record last year with 24 rebounds. That's a boys and girls record for Southern. No matter what we ask her to do, she's going to come in and do her job. And she's just one of those valuable glue pieces that, she's never going to be the leading scorer on the team. She may not stuff a stat sheet, but she's going to make winning play after winning play. Just thinking back to that Franklin County game last year, she took 3 or 4 charges in that game and completely changed how they attacked the basket. And just plays like that are invaluable. So.
Yeah. Natalie Clark is, I've always found her interesting because she's had so many injuries. We've really not seen her play at the varsity level.
Yeah.
But yet she has college offers, and
right.
she has great summers and AAU and all that type of stuff. So we've seen her potential. We just haven't really seen it at the high school level yet.
Yeah.
Because of injury.
Right. This past summer, the 3 or 4 week summer ball season, she was healthy and she played with us. And, I saw a lot of good things that she can help us out with this year because she's tall and long and athletic and has a great motor. She really can do a lot of Reese-like things and to a degree just based off the height, length, and motor. But, like you said, injuries have kind of held her back some. She's battling a shoulder injury right now, so still working through that. So we're hoping to get her healthy here soon and throw her out there because she can definitely help us out.
Yeah. Is Megan the newcomer?
Megan is the newcomer, yes. She is from Illinois. Illinois, yes. Moved down here in around July. I didn't know a lot about her. I tried to research and find some things, and she shared that she started for 3 or 4 years up there and made it to the state tournament in their class once. So she's obviously been around some good basketball teams and a lot of experience. She's got a great motor on her, and I think she's someone who fits in with how we play. We play hard and really make defense a priority, and she is kind of molded the same way. So I think she's going to fit in really well with this.
Kind of help with Reese's absence.
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. Yes.
All right, Kristen Fraley.
So Kirsten didn't play a ton last year, and she's kind of been through some different things in this off season that have kept her back. But she's a really good player for us in practice. It helps, and she's a great cheerleader, and she realizes that when she gets her opportunities, take advantage of them. But she's someone who just kind of keeps the morale up and positive, and so she's just one of those good, valuable pieces to have around a successful team.
Yeah, then Bella Moberly and Tara Wooten.
Yeah, Bella's someone who really got thrown into the fire last year because of Reese and whether she was ready or not. And I thought by the end of the season she had gotten comfortable. She's had a great off season. Just really has turned into the player that you would look at her and think she could become. And so now we're really going to need her to become those things with Reese being down. But Bella is a very capable 4 or 5. She can run the floor. She's just as athletic as guards. She can do so many things. And once she puts it all together in her head and her mind slows down, I think she can turn into a double-digit scorer for us this year.
Tara's a good shooter.
Oh yeah, Tara has really you talk about someone improving from one year to the next. She has really grown up. We're going to ask her to kind of be our Mo this year and guard the other team's best guards. She's a great defender. She's a great spot-up shooter, a good ball handler. Her decision-making's got a lot better. She sees the floor great. She just does so many things. She's not going to come out and score 30 points, but at the end of the night, she's going to have 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. She's just going to really stuff a stat sheet. And, as a senior guard, we're really going to count on her to produce and help out with Hadley.
Yeah, well, you only have one junior on the roster, but kind of who else is going to, besides those seniors there, is going to play some varsity minutes for you.
Yeah. Well, the junior being Olivia Wagner. Olivia is, I'm really proud of Olivia. Just from when I got here a couple years ago, she has improved so much from then to now. She's had a lot of talented players in front of her, so she's had to wait her turn, but she keeps improving and working. With Reese going down, there's a spot for her now. She's going to play a lot of minutes this year, and she can do a lot of good things for us. And then as far as the other players, Ashlyn Eastep, Reese's sister, Ash she is a dog. She is someone that you have to have out there.
That's a compliment.
That is a compliment. She understands what I'm saying. But yeah, she is not afraid of anybody. You could put her against the number one team in the state, and she's going to look them in the eye and say, "Let's play." She just has that attitude and that edge that you need to go against. Really top level teams, and she makes a lot of plays for us, especially defensively. So we're going to count on her to do a lot. And then the other one would be Lacey Sandlin. Lacey Sandlin's had a ton of hype and potential around her for years. I think she's at the point now where she can do those things that people look at her and think she can do. She's kind of one of the same where she looks like $1 million, but she also has a freshman mind, and sometimes the game gets too fast for her. She gets down on herself if something bad happens. So it's just kind of the maturity and growing up things. But I do think at some point, hopefully sooner than later, that things are going to click in her mind and everything's going to slow down, because if they do, she can really turn into one of the better scorers of not just for our team, but in the region.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, make good out of a bad situation. But like I said, you guys did go through this last year, and you did accomplish all those great things. So the kids have to know that they can do it again, I guess, right? Be confident.
Right. And I think they do know that. I mean, they all would give anything for Reese to be out there. But they all knew, like, when she got hurt, they all kind of talked to each other and knew, like, we've been through this. We got really far last year. We were a few plays here and there from maybe upsetting Franklin County. So, they know that they've got what it takes to have a good season and maybe accomplish some of their goals that they have set out. But they also know that they've got a long ways to go. And, the region, I mean, it just top to bottom, it's really, really deep. You still got to put Franklin County at the top until someone knocks them off. They've got a ton of talent, and I think there's probably 4 to 5 teams, 2 through 6. You could rearrange those teams in any order, and it could be correct. So, I mean, it's just going to be who's playing their best basketball by the end of the season.
All right, well, we'll get our first look at the Eagles tomorrow night, Monday night, home against East Jessamine. So, once again, appreciate you coming in. Like I said, sorry we had to do this again. I wish we didn't have to do this again, because if that was the case, Reese would still be playing. But I do appreciate you coming in, and we look forward to it. It's going to be an exciting season.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Thanks a bunch.
And now back to Nathan Hutchison at the sports desk.
Welcome back. We are joined by Model Lab coach John Morgerson, back for your 4th season here at Model. So thanks for taking some time to talk to us today.
Yeah, appreciate y'all coming over.
And we're just this is probably, I think, it seems like you've had this group of kids for quite a while. You only lost really one senior from last year, like we were just talking before we went on here, you have 10 kids that could really play varsity time this year. Is maybe your deepest team you've had since you've been here?
Yeah, we have some really good depth. We got 4 seniors. I could remember these guys when they were freshmen, kind of being at that intro press conference, and it's been really cool to just see the way they've grown up and matured from back then when I met them to where they are now and the way they're leading our team. But yeah, we've got 6 other guys, or 7 or 8, I don't know, that are really pushing them to keep getting better, and our practice has been really competitive. So I like where we're at right now. We just got to keep working and see what happens.
Yeah, well, you guys have been with your bases since you walked in the door.
Yeah.
This group of seniors.
Yeah, good group of guys.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about looking forward here. I mean, like I said, you only lost really Thomas was the only kid from last year. Luxon that was a starter, so this is basically the same group back from last year. You have had 1 scrimmage so far, so what did you see out of that 1 scrimmage?
Yeah, we competed really well there. We didn't get off to our best start, but we won 3 out of 4 quarters against Nicholas County, and we didn't have Keshav there either. So, I think that would raise our ceiling a little bit. But the guys that were there really competed, played hard, got off to a rough start, but kept their head up, turned the game around, kind of got control of the game, and we learned a lot about ourselves there. And we, 1 quarter we had 23 points, so it was good to see us kind of get up and down, get in transition, score a little bit more. But we have another scrimmage on Saturday against Wolfe County, and that should be a good test for us to help get us ready for next week.
Yeah. Do you kind of want to pare that 10 down, or you want to play that many guys? Or
well, with the scrimmage, I'm trying to get them all out there. It's not about winning; it's about learning more about us and kind of throwing them out there to see what they do. So I'd like to play as many as we can out there to just get them some minutes, get them some reps against other people. They go hard against each other, but they go a little harder when it's someone else, and it's a little tougher. So we learn a lot more when we do it that way.
All right, let's take us through all 4 seniors. Start with K-Shop, obviously coming off a great
K-Shop had a really good season last year. He had to do a lot. It was hard to take him off the court. He played probably 31 minutes every game. I tried to get him a breather when I could, but it's tough. Just because he was so versatile. And I think, he really played hard last year. He led our team, and now this year he's kind of played even more confidently, worked on his game. I had a great soccer season, so it was, I think those same skills have transferred over, and that confidence that he has from how successful he was last year really allows him to play within himself and understand what he's really good at. And then Shalin, he's a good steady force for us as well, a good defender, can bring the ball up, can play point guard, can play off the ball. Him and K-Shop pair really well together. And then Kale and Jude, Kale's played varsity a couple seasons, and so I think that's really helped him grow into his game, the way he can score in different ways. He made a lot of threes last year. He probably didn't shoot the percentage that he would like, so we're hoping that will be even better this year. With our depth and balance, I think he'll get even more open looks where he doesn't feel like he has to, kind of force a shot to score. And then Jude, he's a great player for us as well. The way he is steady, he knows where to be. He's going to compete defensively. He's going to make open shots. When you pair all 4 of those together, they have a good range of different skills.
All right, and you got 8 juniors on this roster too. So.
Yeah, that's another thing. We have 12 guys there that are upperclassmen. Those juniors, a couple of them have been playing a lot of varsity too. You got Dylan Crockett, Leighton Coleman. Both of them have really grown into their game. Got a lot of minutes last year. I think the rest of them are still kind of learning, still kind of figuring it out. Adam came over from Central. I think he's got some good size that's going to help us once he kind of understands the system and gets kind of chemistry in the games. Our sophomore group's really strong too, with Harrison and Beckett that are going to play key roles for our varsity. Beckett's a good defender, good rebounder at the guard position, good passer. Harrison thinks he's always open. He wants to shoot a lot, so
shooters always think.
Yeah, he gives good energy to us, so I'm okay with his shots as long as he's playing hard. We just got to rein him in a little bit. And then Ty, he transferred, came in from Montana. He's a cross-country kid that was competing at state, so he's really athletic. He runs the floor really well, and just adds to that depth that we have. I really feel like we have 10 guys that can get out there and play, and hopefully that's going to impact the style of play. I feel like we can pressure people. I'm telling them to just get out and play relentless on defense, so that way you play as hard as you can for 3 minutes. We got somebody else that can come in and do the same thing as you. So just give us all you can while you're out there.
I think depth is not something you've had the luxury of here the whole time.
No, it's something you have to build. And,
yeah.
I'm fortunate in the fact that it's 4th year and we've kind of built that, and we have guys that are kind of been committed. And we have a freshman too that kind of really come in and helped us. He had a double-double over the weekend in scrimmage, and Riley Mollett. He has another good size and he can score. He had 6 fouls in that scrimmage though, so we got to teach him to play without fouling, so we're still working on that. But
don't get disqualified in the scrimmage though, right?
Yeah, I told him he would have fouled out in the NBA, so you can't do that. He's got to play without fouling.
Yeah, and you guys struggled a little bit offensively last year. I think I looked it up. When you guys scored 70 points, you were 3-0, but you only scored 70 points 3 times.
Yeah.
The rest of the time we kind of struggled. But with this group being back and more experienced, I think that number will definitely go
we've
up.
always tried to be really efficient.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to run 10 different plays. I just want to score, and I tell them that. It's not. We don't want to score 10 different ways. Our goal is just to score. And I think this group, we've been even working on just now, just trying to get in transition to find a way to go score before our team is able to set their defense. And I think we have the guys that are willing passers, guys that are unselfish, and guys that will run the court, that I think we're going to get more opportunities in transition. And hopefully we'll be able to turn some people over in the backcourt, which will lead to more possessions and lead to some layups that we can convert off the press as well. So I think that, I don't know what we were at last year, maybe 60, 62, something like that. I think we can push that to 68 or 70 and hopefully have a good record at that 70 mark too.
Yeah, because you definitely like to push the pace and transition, and also press and try to get some points off steals.
Yeah, I thought I sounded like Coach Cal today. I'm in no means Coach Calipari, but he's always giving a hard time for yelling "go" on the sidelines, and I'm just trying to get that instilled in them in practice, that we're just trying to push and throw ahead as much as possible so we can score before somebody can set their defense.
Yeah, and usually here and a lot of other small schools, size you don't have a lot of big guys. And kind of who are your inside guys there?
Yeah, it's like I talked about with Riley. He's a good freshman that has size. Adam, I think, will be a good guy off the bench that has good size. He's kind of the first one off the bus kind of kid that you want to walk in the gym and be like, oh, okay, they look like a basketball team. Like, we have some guys that we're going to walk in and have that size. And I think we can play small and still be able to rebound. We have some guys that are physical and have gotten stronger and put in some work in the weight room that I think, even at our guard position, we have good rebounders there. So even if we're playing, a couple guards and a couple forwards without real size, I think we're still going to be able to rebound and play hard defensively.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to expectations. I mean, obviously, the All-A is obviously a big deal around here every year.
Yeah.
And then looking forward, obviously district tournament and all that stuff. But kind of your expectations at this point.
Yeah, we have Sayre in the All-A, which it's already a team I'll try to watch as much as I can in December. They're hosting, so that's always tough. A team that's hosting going to play at their place, but you hope that you can catch them in that first game when they're a little more confident or overlooking us. But they always play really physical, so we're trying to get our guys to be physical with each other, so that way when we play against somebody that's physical, especially in the backcourt, that we'll be ready for that. So I think we competed well against Sayre last year when we played them here, and I think we kind of threw that first punch and got to them early, and then they kind of pulled away in the second half. But I think we showed last year we could compete with them, and I think we've gotten even better, and I think they lost a couple seniors, but they still have a good young group. I think it should be a competitive game that I think we should have a shot to win.
All right.
The district, our district's really good this year. When you look at Central and Southern, I think they could be top 15, top 20 in the state, both of them. We don't have Central, but we do have Southern coming to our place in January, which our guys will be really excited about. I haven't got to coach against Southern in our place and have a home game, so I think that'll be exciting. And just getting the Madison County and everybody in here and the band and everything. They have a really talented group, but I think our guys can match up with them well with the way that we have some guards and some depth, and they want to try to speed us up. Maybe that will play into our advantage. We'll see. But we got to kind of get some revenge a little bit for last year.
Those games are always battles, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, Tuesday at home against Trinity Christian. That's the season opener. So appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you, Dave.
Good luck to you the rest of the season.
All right, appreciate it.
And now back to Nathan Hutchison at the sports desk.
Joined by one of the busiest men in Madison County, Model Lab, athletic director, and now girls basketball coach, Scotty Sutton. Thanks for taking some time to talk to us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great.
You're back in the coaching gig, huh?
Yeah.
First time in 7 years?
It is. It's funny. Back in the spring, I met with the girls and I said, we're still working on, getting somebody, but if not, I'll work with you in the summer. And so summertime came, and after the second practice, I went home and I told my wife, I said, am I this out of shape? Or I said, good night, this is kicking me. So, but I like to be so high energy that these practices, sometimes I go home and I'm just like, oh. But it's been fun. It's been good to get back in the gym.
Yeah, and of course you haven't coached in a while, but all these girls being here on campus, and everybody calls you coach anyway.
Yeah, it's it's funny because when I in the athletic director's job, when I first got here, for whatever reason, the guys were all like, hey, Sutton. And I'd be like, and all the girls called me Scotty. And I was like, so when I met with them, I was like, if y'all want to keep calling me that, it's okay. I said, I'm not going to make you change. So, but, it's good. It's good to be here.
Yeah, and you got an extensive coaching resume. People know you were at East Jessamine, Scott County. Where all have you been?
Well, it started off at Sayre. I started there and coached for 20 years. It doesn't seem like I'm that old, but yeah, I was there. I did baseball and basketball for a long, long time, and then I had continued coaching the girls basketball. But when my son got into high school, they were actually going to be in the same district as us. And I coached against him as an 8th grader. And that next day I went in to see the headmaster and I said, I don't know if I can do this. So I retired from coaching baseball, but continued with girls basketball until I came here. So, yeah.
All right. Well, you got obviously taking over a team that went 21-9 last year. That's the good news. But the bad news is you lost your top 4 players off that team. You do have 4 seniors back this year, 3 juniors who have played a lot. So There's some roles to fill here, and but you got some talented players who are ready to step up.
Yeah, I mean,
into those.
there is, and the big thing is you do read those 4 seniors, but they haven't played a lot, of varsity time. Paige, I think, did, but she's been out with an injury, and still not back. Had a foot injury. Really, it developed in soccer. She, when the trainer came, looked at it, said, you need to get in a boot. And so we need to get her back on the floor. The longer it goes, the longer it's going to take her to get back in shape, back into game shape. But Avery and Alyssa have been around the program a long time. Love coaching them. They never missed a practice in the summer. And Peyton, is new to the game.
Mm-hmm. Soccer player.
Yeah.
Another soccer player.
And, but when you're at a small school, you got to have those athletes. And when she came and talked to me and said, I think I'd like to play, I was like, heck yeah. I've seen you out there running people down on the soccer field. I said, come on, bring it. I'd love to have you out here. So, and they've just been a treat to coach. I mean, they're so positive, so it's been great.
Yeah, and that junior class has also got some soccer players, Maya Bandari.
Maya and Claire both, really,
goalie.
Yeah, really playing well. Maya has just been, she's really stepped up her game playing the point guard. So smart. And, it's one thing to be smart in the classroom, it's another thing to be smart on the floor, and she is. I mean, she's making good decisions, shooting the basketball. I've really enjoyed, an old point guard myself. I really like to have that relationship with the point guard. All right, let's talk about what we want to do. You got to sometimes get us into a play if you're all the way down there, and we want to run the floor, we want to run the break, but you got to make good decisions. Do we have numbers? Do we not? And she's been fantastic. So love coaching her.
Yeah, well, you've had 2 scrimmages now. Kind of.
Yep.
What at this point does your lineup and your rotation kind of look like at this point?
Well, right now we're going with Avery and Alyssa as our bigs, and then of course Maya's running the 1, and then we have 2 newcomers who are actually starting for us. Riley Hunt came in from Henry County. Her mother is the new principal. And then J.D. Balzer, they came in from Montana. Mm-hmm. And her brother, well, you know them from cross country. Yeah. And J.D. is explosive. She's just, she's still young. She's still just a freshman. But, she gets to the rim. She's always out there dribbling. I'll go out there before practice and, she's got 2 balls in her hands, working on her ball handling, and she wants to learn so much. And, the biggest thing right now is, and I've told them I would cut it back, but, I've always had sort of that Princeton offense sort of thing, a lot of plays, and that's hard on them right now. Yeah, and a lot of quick hitters and things, and I've got to remember back all the way back. It took 2 or 3 years for them to get that down, and sometimes I'll get out there and why don't we know this right now? And it's just going to take time. And I did bring it back some. So, but my biggest thing is when they'll be able to know that like clockwork and just be able to play the game and not have to think all the time. That's when we're going to be our best.
Yeah.
So,
and scrimmages, you've had some growing pains, but it's going to be a process.
We have. I mean, it's
a long season.
It is, and that's what I told them today. We had a scrimmage against a very talented Paris team. Coach Barr and I are old buddies, and he's helping them. And so back in the day, I used to always go there the day before Thanksgiving and play. And I said, let's do it. But that's a team that won, the 10th Region Class A last year, and they got just about everybody back, and they are very high. So we saw a different breed today. The way they ran the floor, they were athletic, they were big. But what I try to tell my girls is, look, I can look at you and I and say, this is one of the best teams you're going to play all year. But I don't want that to be an excuse for how we play. We've still got to run our offense. We've still got to be tough with the ball. And I thought from the first half to the second half, we really got better at that. They were playing multitude of defenses. They played a 1-3-1, they played a man, they played a 2-3. And that's good for us. I was really glad they did because it's going to make us get out there and think better when we get in the games. And I told them after the game, I said, I was proud of the way you played in that second half. But now the real deal starts. And when we get back and start getting ready for Brown. So I'm excited about it, but they've got to get ready, no doubt.
Yeah, well, besides the young ladies you've already mentioned, who else is going to get some varsity playing time for you?
Well, we've got some girls who, they're right there on that fence. Who's going to step up? Peyton is one who could get out there and play because she's got that, she's physical. She can run the floor, but she's just new to the game. Piper Moore is a girl, she played a lot of softball, a lot of volleyball, and I think she's going to back up. And Tiari Shaw is a girl, both of them are young, but they're coming, and I'm excited about that. Saylor is a girl who is just an 8th grader, and she's been out with sickness, but then she came in yesterday and just tore practice up. And so she got some varsity time today. I felt like she earned it. Alana is a girl. Alana Newbill is a girl who, is sort of backing up at the 1. So we've got players. It's just a matter of, okay, who's going to take it by the rein. I would rather have a 7 or an 8-man rotation, but they're going to have to step up. I'm not just going to put them out there. They're going to have to earn that playing time. And if they do that in practice, then I'm going to play them regardless of what year they are. And so we'll see. We'll see who steps up.
Okay. Well, it gets underway December 1st. Is that Thursday next week?
That's Thursday, yeah.
Thursday at home against Brown.
Yep.
And Scotty back in the coaching
position
again.
It's been fun.
All right. Well, appreciate your time and good luck to you this season.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you. All right.
And now back to Nathan Hutchison at the sports desk.
Once again, we appreciate all the coaches in the county making some time out of their schedules to talk to us. I hope you all enjoyed that. And like I said, we will split all those up individually and put those out on social media as well. But the high school basketball season does start Monday night with a couple of games. You have girls basketball. You have East Jessamine at Madison Southern. And then on the boys' side, you have Southwestern at Berea Community and Madison Central at Pulaski. And then on Tuesday, right off the bat, we have a 44th district matchup. Berea at Madison Central in a girls matchup, and then 2 boys games on Tuesday as well. Trinity Christian at Model, and Madison Southern taking on Collins up at Georgetown College. So going to be a busy week, lots of games. There are boy-girl doubleheaders on Friday night at both Madison Central and Madison Southern. So stay tuned to Richmond R Sports on Twitter. We keep you updated with everything every night. I'll be calling on my buddy Ricky Elkins to come out and shoot some games for us this week. So that'll bring a wrap to Randy, what I'm sure is the longest ever edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. But we wanted to get all 8 coaches in here and make sure everyone has a good knowledge of what's going on here in Madison County as we head into high school basketball season. It's a very exciting time of the year, and we're happy to be a part of it. So appreciate you watching, and we'll be back next week with a brand new show. Have a good week.
The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Thanks for watching the Richmond Register Sports Show. For more information about all things sports in Madison County, log on to richmondregister.com or on Twitter. And like us, Register Sports on Facebook. Get the Richmond Register directly to your mailbox or get the app online and visit richmondregister.com.